America great again, tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
Known then for slamming Trump during the campaign.
He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party.
And at times going against him, even admitting he urged Senator McCain to turn over the controversial Steele dossier of Trump-Russia allegations.
You see, I didn't even know that Lindsey Graham was behind that famous Steele dossier. That goes to show you. Today I'm going to talk about Lindsey Graham, who is one of the most unprincipled, dishonest, deceitful person to ever walk the halls of Congress. Lindsey Graham is a man without a spine, a man without a core, a man without a backbone. And I'm going to go through exactly why Lindsey Graham is one of the worst person to ever set foot in Congress. Now let's play this video right here.
He's becoming a jackass at a time when we need to have a serious debate.
That's how it all started. An angry Lindsey Graham lashes out at Donald Trump here on Out Front for slamming his best friend, John McCain.
I am really pissed, but I'm really frankly tired of this.
And in true Trump fashion, he takes the bait.
I watched this idiot Lindsey Graham on television today, and he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass.
And he doesn't stop there.
You have this guy, Lindsey Graham, a total lightweight. Here's a guy in the private sector.
I'm going to just pause it for a second. You know, when Donald Trump said, here's a guy, he fixing to go in on your ass.
We couldn't get a job, believe me. Couldn't get a job.
Before the event is over, Trump gives out Senator Graham's personal phone number, inviting the crowd to call.
He gave me his number, and I found the card. I wrote the number down. I don't know if it's the right number. Let's try it. 202. I don't know, maybe.
Look how shocked the folks are. Look how shocked the audience are. You see, what Donald Trump, and I give Donald Trump, rarely I give Donald Trump credit, but in this one instance right here, I will give him credit because Donald Trump understands the art of war, the art of having your enemy under your feet. You see, Donald Trump is from New York, and basically all Donald Trump is doing is what black folks always been doing for years. It's called droning. It's called roasting. You see, Lindsey Graham from South Carolina, Southern nice, he don't understand that world. He don't understand that type of politics. And Lindsey Graham made a fatal mistake of going after Donald Trump. You know, there's a saying here in Texas, I learned it here in Texas, I don't know where it came from. It goes, mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horn. Lindsey Graham got the horn that day. He got a beatdown, a verbal beatdown of epic proportion. All right, let's keep going.
It's 3-4 years ago, so maybe it's an old number. So, I don't know, give it a shot.
A phone call to the number went unanswered. The call was forwarded to an answering service which said Lindsey Graham was not available. Graham, who admits he never even sent an email, now seems to be changing his number, telling his supporters in a tweet, probably getting a new phone, iPhone or Android. So much for Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment to speak no ill of any other Republican. Now it's a race where the name-calling, dirty tricks, and mudslinging of national politics are totally out in the open, nasty, ugly, and caught on camera.
Now, Lindsey Graham just demonstrating that he's just a candle in the wind that blow it with the mercy of the wind. Is have no core, he have no spine. So Lindsey Graham, instead of fighting back, instead of taking his gloves off and going back after Donald Trump, not physically, but through roasting, he did what a weak politician do. He tucked his tail between his legs. Lindsey Graham realized at that one point, this is career-ending attack. Because he was humiliated on a public stage. Lindsey Graham got a public whipping, a public lashing of epic proportion. And Lindsey Graham realized in that moment, hey, I have to do something. So Lindsey Graham went and hired a PR firm to help salvage his little small image. And this is what Lindsey Graham did just to save his career, his 30-year career in the Senate.
if all else fails, you can always give your number to the Donald.
With blind devotion
So
to
there is the
President
new
Trump,
Lindsey Graham.
Senator Lindsey Graham again proving himself as one of the president's most reliable frontmen.
Is this whistleblower, whoever he or she may be, do they have any connection to the intelligence community, the old intelligence community that was corrupt as hell?
Graham has fallen in line behind President Trump and become the face of Trump's defense on Capitol Hill.
To impeach any president over a phone call like this would be insane.
That stance a stunning about-face, given his position on impeachment during the Clinton years.
You don't even have to be convicted of a crime to lose your job in this constitutional republic if this body determines that your conduct as a public official is clearly out of bounds in your role. Impeachment is about cleansing the office.
You see, Lindsey Graham realized one thing. Lindsey Graham realized one thing, that in order to salvage his image with Donald Trump, in order to save himself with Donald Trump, he have to do a lot of work. He have to be Donald Trump #1 cheerleader. And that's what Lindsey Graham become. He become Donald Trump biggest cheerleader, because Lindsey Graham do not have a core. He do not have a spine. Look, I live in a world with a lot of conservative. Most of my friends are conservative. And to be honest, I'm not even a Democrat. A lot of people watch my content and think I'm a Democrat. No, I'm an independent who leans conservative. And I will go back and forth with anyone to protect my belief, to protect my ideology. And a lot of my friends, these are friends of mine, conservative friends of mine, they go this way, I go that way, because I believe in my ideology and my research. So, but Lindsey Graham lack everything that stands for decency.
The two golf and speak on the
That's who
phone
he become.
often.
We have a man who has become a friend of mine. It's shocking, isn't it?
I like him and he likes him.
Graham has a lot to gain politically in hitching his wagon to Trump. The senator is up for re-election in South Carolina in 2020, where standing with the president only stands to help his own political future.
Now, I know you might say to yourself, Big O, why are you going after Senator Lindsey Graham? And I'm going after him because Lindsey Graham is just always talking. There's not a microphone that Lindsey Graham don't run to. Nobody take Lindsey Graham seriously. Foreign leaders and heads of state see Lindsey Graham coming from afar, and they know he's not a serious person. They know exactly what they have to do just to play games with him and to entertain him. But Lindsey Graham is not a serious person. Lindsey Graham is a foreign policy hawk. It's a war hawk. There's not a war available that Lindsey Graham don't want to send American soldiers to their death while he sits in his cushy little office collecting taxpayer money. Now, let me explain exactly why I'm going after Lindsey Graham after seeing this one video right here. Lindsey Graham run into the microphone just to run his mouth.
All right. So, what do I think? Complete, utter disaster. I've been to Ukraine 8 or 9 times since the war started. I understand the consequences of Putin's actions against Ukraine. I appreciate what the Ukrainian people have done. They fought like tigers. At the end of the day, I was hoping that this minerals deal, which would be transformative in the relationship, would go over well.
You heard what he says? He was hoping the mineral deal would go over well. Not that Ukraine would have a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. Not because of the death and devastation that's going on in Ukraine and even in Russia, back and forth. They're killing each other. Russia already lost over 900,000 troops. Ukraine lost over 700,000 troops. The bloodshed is on both sides, but he's talking about a deal. Now let's think about it. Who need this special mineral from Ukraine? Let me think. I know one guy that needs it for his battery, is an electric car battery, and that's Elon Musk. All right, let's keep going.
Zelensky this morning. Don't take the bait. President Trump was in a very good mood last night. Somebody asked me Am I embarrassed about Trump? I have never been more proud of the president. I was very proud of J.D. Vance.
Lindsey Graham gotta be the biggest brown noser ever. He takes the cake. Lindsey Graham, I mean, how low can you go? Lindsey Graham, why don't you pass a bill? Why don't you go back in the Senate and do something for the people of South Carolina? Stop talking. And you know all that was already set up with all that microphone in place. He could not wait to run to the microphone. Now, let me tell you something about Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham probably been on probably 4 to 5 CNN Sunday morning show, State of the Union. Meet the Press, he probably have over 45 appearance and Meet the Press and other talk show. Lindsey Graham is always talking.
Standing up for our country. We want to be helpful. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful, and I don't know if we can ever do business with Zelensky again. I think most Americans saw a guy that they would not want to go in business with.
Nah, only you, Lindsey Graham, because you're a, what's it called, ass kisser. Basically, that's what it is. So you the only one, because what I saw is a guy who says, hey, I want to sign this peace deal. But we signed peace deal with Russia over and over again, only for Russia to break these peace deals. We're looking for a deal with security guarantee. Now, we don't know what that look like. That may look like military planes overhead ensuring that Russia does not break, or even Ukraine does not break the peace deal. That's all he was saying. And I urge anyone to go back, take off their partisan hat and look at and watch that video all over again. And I'm going to do a separate video about that. All right, let's keep going.
The way he handled the meeting, the way he confronted the president was just over the top. So I think the relationship between Ukraine...
You know why it's over the top, Lindsey Graham? Because he have a spine. He knows how to speak up for his country. He have a spine. And he's not like you. He's not going to cower to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. All right, let's keep going.
Ukraine and America is important, vitally important. But can Zelensky do a deal with the United States? After what I saw, I don't know.
What do you need to do, sir? 3 questions. Senator Graham.
You know, the problem with these guys is they've been in Congress. You know, the average age of these guys, the people in Congress, is 65 to 95. These guys been in Congress for too long. It's supposed to be a senator. I think senators get 6 years. 6 years, and Congress people get 2 years or something like that. And they just been in Congress for too long, and all they do is talk and talk and talk. They run their mouth. All right, let's keep going.
He was shocked. He was very upbeat. I told Zelensky, we'll talk about security guarantees. We'll talk about ceasefires and how the war ends. This is a process. You have a new relationship with America, a $500 billion, $500 billion deal that President Trump is proud of, that gives us an interest worth.
You know, I can't listen to more of Lindsey Graham, because all he does is talk. But, you know, when I was doing my content prep to talk about Lindsey Graham, I realized that I did not have to do much, because Lindsey Graham is such a, well, he don't even have two faces. Lindsey Graham is a man of many, many faces. And these guys don't realize that Donald Trump, all Donald Trump is doing is taking roasting to the big screen, to politics, and none of these guys know how to deal with it. But as I was doing my content prep, I came across Steve Schmidt. If you don't know who Steve Schmidt is, he's a Republican operative who turns independent because he see Donald Trump just like I see Donald Trump, a person who have bad policies. All right, let's play this one video.
There's no American politician who so perfectly captures the lack of principles in this MAGA era than Lindsey Graham from South Carolina. Lindsey Graham at first was most famous for being the sidekick of John McCain. I personally logged thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles on the road with Lindsey Graham, flying to every corner of this country on a presidential campaign. He wasn't a particularly serious guy, but he was fun, and he made everybody laugh. He's a genuinely funny guy. Would often look at him and joke with people around, can you believe that he's a United States Senator? But alas, he was, but perfectly harmless. And his instincts seemed to be right, committed to small L liberal values, to pluralism, to democracy. And all across the world, he would sit at John McCain's elbows, across from dictators, across from people who hated freedom, and next to the world's dissidents. And you would have imagined that he picked something up. He actually ran for president in 2016. He ran for president as somebody opposing Donald Trump. He very famously said during that campaign, not only would the Republican Party be destroyed if it nominated Donald Trump, but that it would deserve it. When Donald Trump was unexpectedly elected president, Lindsey Graham discarded every principle that he had previously advocated, every single one of them. He wanted attention. He wanted to play golf. He needed another large fish under which to protect himself, to bask. A lot of reporters at the time would ask me, what's wrong with Lindsey Graham? What happened to him? Why is he doing this? And I told them it's who he is, that they misunderstood. It's not a lack of principle. It's entirely consistent with his character. What he is a pilot fish. He swam under John McCain, who was a noble shark in the estimation of the American media. And so Lindsey Graham was noble. But either way, he made his living feeding on the detritus of the apex predator, John McCain. When John McCain left, the pilot fish needed a new host. And now he swam under a sleazy shark, Donald Trump, feeding on its polluted detritus. Same Lindsey Graham. When the Saudi Arabians chopped up...
You see, I'm gonna stop it right here. You know, when that's what's wrong with politics. If you ever want to know what's wrong with politics and why politics is in the gutter and why nobody trusts politicians, Lindsey Graham is a perfect example. A man without a spine, a man of many faces. But I'm gonna leave right there. I'm your boy Big O. We out HRTV. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.